So, you know how we do it here. Every guest who's live in the studio, we ask them what their walk-on music is. Aloe Black is here live. We'll talk about his new album, Stand. Let that ride, Miles. We'll talk about his new album for the hour called Stand Together. We played a track earlier on today's show called Shine. We'll play that again and some other tracks for you. But tell me why this is your walk-on song today, Aloe Black.
Oh, because you can feel it all over. There's nothing like Stevie Wonder's music, the way that the energy, the vibe, the soul, the voice, the musicianship, it all comes together to make us feel good. And I just want to make people feel good with my music.
Turn it up, Miles.
And with a voice like Alice ringing out, there's no way the band can lose. You can feel it all over. You can feel it all over, people. You can feel it all over. You can feel it all over, people.
So Aloe was saying to me a moment ago that he wishes he'd been around. He's born a little late. Wishes he was around during this particular era. I've often felt that way about Dr. King, who is my hero, who I regard as the greatest American this country's ever produced. That's my own assessment about King. I wish I'd been there to serve Dr. King. I would have loved to have served him and to serve the movement. Why do you wish you were in this era of Stevie Wonder?
There was something really special about the way that artists were collaborative, but also extremely vulnerable and in creating and telling their stories. It feels like the industry celebrated true artistry, and there was not an algorithm that would push how we received or discovered music. It was all about the artists being able to tell stories that were relevant to their communities and abroad, and everybody could get down with that.
Yeah. There are two things that I'm always concerned about when it comes to music. A minimum of two. I'll put it that way. There are more than two. In no particular order, I was just talking to him. I was with Dave Koz and Bob James the other night. They have a new album out called Just Us. It's a pretty amazing project. So it's Dave Koz, who's been my friend forever, and Bob James, who I've known forever. By the way, Bob James, 85 years old, and we were talking at the Grammar Museum the other night when their new project dropped. I sat for a conversation with them. They asked me to come down and talk to them for 30 minutes, and then they performed for a little while, some stuff from the new album. So I ran downtown and interviewed Dave right quick and Bob James, and had forgotten that it was Quincy Jones who discovered Bob James as a kid in a collegiate jazz contest at Notre Dame. And so Quincy Jones doesn't just set all these other careers in place. He literally sets Bob James' career in place.
I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't either. I mean, I Quincy had told me that years ago, but I'd forgotten about it. So again, just a shout out to Quincy Jones. We love and will forever love Quincy Delight Jones. I love that middle name, Quincy Delight Jones. But the point I'm making, I was saying to Bob James and Dave Koz the other night that what I miss most in music today is melody.
Yes.
So my first question for you in that regard is, whatever happened to melody? Because when you talk about Stevie in that era, there was melody, right?
Absolutely.
So whatever happened to melody in music, number one, and number two, to your point about storytelling, I'm really, really missing great lyricism these days. But that's just me. So talk to me about lyricism and melody.
So I'm going to tell you the way that I see it.
Sure.
Now, I don't know if this is the facts, but these are my facts. I feel like any industry that becomes mature will identify how to reduce overhead, increase income, and at the chiasma of that, the intersection of that, likely is a reduction in quality. And so what they are maximizing their profits by finding the right demographic to market to. Right now, kids are the ones that get to set the algorithm because they're the ones with the most discretionary time to be online streaming, setting what is popular. In the past, it was the adults who would buy the music for the kids or play the music that they liked. Now, an adult has a much more refined palette. We understand what is good, what is bad, and what our children should be consuming. And those algorithms are gone now. It is now the children that are with unrefined palettes that get to determine, and that is driving the business. And I think to our detriment, we're losing what you're talking about, melody and lyricism. Lyricism is extremely important. I was just thinking today, what are all of the literary and poetic devices that are necessary? Metaphor, hyperbole, allusion, alliteration,
allegory.
Yeah, allegory.
Yeah.
All synecdoche. All of these things that are important in creating a story that's missing because the youth aren't aware that they want it, that they need it, and the industry is only promoting and spending money and investing in the artists that I guess just offer the fast food.
Yeah. Every day I leave the studio, this audience hears me say all the time, I'm always walking out smarter than I came in. And there's always one or two things in that 3-hour program that I hold on to. I'm going to hold on to that phrase, courtesy of Aloe Black, unrefined palate. How smooth was that? An unrefined palate. I love that phrase. Just getting started with Aloe Black. He has a new project out called Stand Together. We're celebrating Stevie as we always do. Any chance we get a chance to play some Stevie, we'll take it. But we'll talk about Aloe Black's music for the rest of the hour when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Hope, agency, dignity. This is Tavis Smiley.
Can you dig it? Come on!
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
Make a move into a home of your own. With City National Bank's Ladder Up Home Loan Grant, you could receive up to $20,000 that you never need to pay back. Use it toward your down payment, save on closing costs, or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
Stories are power. The Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project is an effort to collect, preserve, and amplify stories of Black land loss. It will form an invaluable resource for scholars, authors, historians, educators, storytellers, policymakers, and change agents who wrestle with issues of restitution, reparations, racial inequality in home ownership, and the racial wealth gap. Through documenting stories of Black land loss, the archive will help demonstrate the magnitude of what Black families have lost and will continue the national dialogue to encourage paths to restitution, rebuilding, and healing. Support the Black Land Lost Narrative Archive Project by visiting www.blacklandlost.org or by donating at www.blacklandlost.org/donate. Spread the word to inspire awareness, activism, leadership, and change. And join us in making a lasting impact. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. At Exquisite Family Mortuary, we know how overwhelming it can be planning a meaningful farewell for your loved one. Secure your peace of mind by calling Charlotte White at 323-577-5562. That's Charlotte White at 323-577-5562. From traditional funeral services to memorials to direct cremation, pre-needs, and more. Call Charlotte White at Exquisite Family Mortuary for Southern hospitality in Southern California. That's Charlotte White at 323-577-5562. Exquisite Family Mortuary is located nearby in Inglewood, California. Exquisite Family Mortuary, where your loved one becomes our loved one. Helping to make you the most knowledgeable person in your circle of friends. This is Tavis Smiley.
In the darkness of despair, where your fears grow deep inside, and no one seems to care, and all your hope has nearly died. Well, I believe in you, and I know that you will shine to show us the way you will shine. To show it's okay, you will shine. Forever and ever and ever and evermore. And for all of us, for all of us, for all of us, you
I love this track. It's called Shine. It is on the new project called Stand Together from Aloe Black. Tell me about this track, Shine, Mr. Black.
Shine was a song that I wrote in conjunction with an organization called Aurora Prize for Awakening Humanity. They offer $1 million prize to humanitarians who are putting their lives on the line every day against despotic tyrants, against rebel fighters, to save the lives of people within their communities and their region. There's the guy by the name of Dr. Dennis Mukwege in the DRC. And he started a hospital in order to help save women who have been part of war crimes. And he was one of the recent recipients of the Aurora Prize. But Shine is a song inspired by those kinds of individuals who would stand in the face of mortal danger in order to support and support the people that are in their community.
Yeah. Tell you a funny story that you otherwise wouldn't know, so I'm going to just share this with you. So my staff knows that I have this rule that whenever I have anybody in the comedy field or in the music business, for Raji standing through the glass behind you, my producer is laughing already. I haven't got the story out. He knows where I'm going. So does Miles, my board up. So anybody who's in the comedy field or in the music business, I make sure they call them hours in advance to make sure they're going to be on time when they're coming in studio. I've been at this for 30 plus years, and I know that the two groups of folk who are always late are comedians and music artists. And if they're rappers, God help you, they may not show up until the next day. Sorry, Miles. But anyway, they're really never on time, right? And so they know that rule. So they were on the phone with your people earlier today to make sure you were going to be here on time. So they were surprised I wasn't when like 45, 50 minutes earlier than airtime, Aloe Black walks into the building. And they come run down the hallway, Faraji does, says, you ain't going to believe this. I'm at a commercial break. You ain't going to believe this. I said, what? He said, Aloe Black is already here. And I laughed. He said, why are you laughing? I said, Aloe Black is in a different category. He doesn't fit the category with all the other music artists who I know who are friends of mine or my comedian friends. I said, because Aloe Black is not just an artist. He's an activist. He takes his work seriously. When you do the kind of work that Aloe Black does, you show up on time because your work actually matters to you. Now, I'm saying that not to demean all my other friends who are listening right now who are like, man, screw you, Tavis. Y'all niggas know I'm telling the truth. You were late the last time you came here, so you know I ain't lying about it. But I share that story because I respect, the work and witness, and that's how I put it for you, the work and witness that you are engaged in. And you're telling that story about the DRC, Democratic Republic of Congo, and your work to write this song in conjunction with these people who are putting their lives on the line underscores, again, the kind of serious work you do. Why do I raise that? As a long way of asking how that became part of your DNA. Where did this activist part come from?
The story is probably much more complicated than I'm going to make it. But when I had my first hit, I Need a Dollar, I had billboards all throughout L.A.
By the way, cue that up, Miles. You're never going to hear that this hour. Everybody knows that. They're waiting on that, but go ahead.
And these billboards, it was my first opportunity to get an endorsement or sponsorship or, some sort of money from a company. It was a liquor company. It happened to be my dad's favorite gin, Tanqueray.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
And I don't drink, but I figured, I'm going to do this commercial because I'll get some free bottles. I'll send to my dad. I'll have some posters and stuff. And I was excited. I got the money, and I thought I was the man. And I got a phone call from Lucy Castro. She was one of the folks that was helping work with the Community Coalition of South LA. And she said, Aloe, we see your posters and billboards all over the city. I was like, yeah, it's great, isn't it? She said, no, we are working hard to shut down the liquor stores in our community that are a blight on our neighborhoods.
Wow.
And I didn't know what to say.
Wow.
I realized then the power, the importance, the responsibility I have to represent the folks who are doing real work, and I don't want to have them be taking 2 steps back while I think I'm taking 2 steps forward. So I took a drive, to go and meet the folks at Community Coalition to understand what their mission was and the perspective. And then, from there, I went on to to partner. I ended up releasing a song produced by Pharrell Williams called Love is the Answer. And in that music video, we told a story that had been imparted onto me by Community Coalition of South LA about this ordinance called willful defiance in the public schools, where they were suspending students for wearing their hat backwards or tapping their pencil on the desk. Whatever the teacher said, kid's gone. You know what happens to a kid who's not in school?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Criminalization of education, right?
Yeah. So, that ended up being the basis for the music video. That, I would say, is what, quote unquote, radicalized me.
Right.
Not that I hadn't already kind of understood what I could do as an artist from the golden era of hip hop, listening to Queen Latifah, KRS-One, Public Enemy, the Tribe Called Quest, and the pro-black era of hip hop. I felt like I was part of that, but it was deeper than just the words. Now I realize, it's everything you do outside of the studio that matters too. Yeah.
I'm curious, and I'll tell you why in a second. After that experience with I Need a Dollar, being connected as a theme song for Tangeray, have you licensed another song since then, commercially?
I have licensed many songs commercially since then, and I have a rule against certain industries.
I asked that question for 2 reasons. I think I probably told this story before, but Prince was a dear friend of mine, and Prince licensed one song one time, and he regretted it for the rest of his career. For the rest of his career, he regretted it, and he never did it again because he regretted it so much. He licensed Little Red Corvette to you-know-who, Chevrolet, and when he saw those commercials and heard it, he hated it so much that he never licensed anything else. That's the first reason I asked that question. The second reason I ask it is because we played our friend Stevie Wonder earlier. And I talked to Stevie one day. I told Stevie this, that I thought at one point his people were being way too generous with his catalog. Stevie's the GOAT. And I don't want to see or hear Stevie Wonder music on everything under the sun. I have no right, I have no agency to tell Stevie Wonder it's his catalog, it ain't mine. I understand that. Shut up, Tavis. You ain't Stephen and Morris. It ain't your catalog. But I'm here to protect Stevie. I love Stevie, and that's my man. I want to protect him. And I just thought his people were getting a little too loose with licensing his songs for some of everything. And I thought it was distracting from the, here we go again, the lyricism of what Stevie was really saying in those songs when you license it to this, that, and the other, right? I had the same problem at the King estate. Dr. King is my hero. I don't want to see Dr. King in an Apple commercial. I'm sorry. Am I making sense here?
I hear what you're saying.
It just that licensing thing matters to me. So again, I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. I just asked that question to see what guardrails, and you answered the question already, what guardrails you put in place after that experience. So at least if you're going to license your stuff, and I ain't against licensing, I license my stuff. I'm happy to sell you a clip of anything I said or anything I did for your movie, for your documentary. I license clips every day. So I'm in that licensing business as well. You got 30 years of content. People want to license your stuff. So I do it all the time. So I'm not against that. But I do believe that for me and for you and for Stevie and the King Estate and Prince and everybody else, there ought to be some guardrails around how we do this if we want to protect, dare I say, and this may be putting too much on it, the sanctity of the gift that we've been blessed with and how we use it. If any of that makes sense.
I believe there should be guardrails for sure.
Right.
I believe there's also oversaturation. But then there's also, I'm an independent artist. I used to be with major label. And so as an independent artist, I want to find ways that I can promote my music and also turn that promotion into income.
Sure.
At the same time.
You got bills to pay.
So there are bills to pay. Yeah. So in this new album, Stand Together, what I've done was I've partnered with this big overarching organization called Stand Together, which supports community leaders who have started nonprofit organizations. Each song then represents either a positive social mission or a nonprofit organization. And in that way now, I have kind of flipped the model of put the music out, wait for a license. I am now gratis license to each of these nonprofit organizations to amplify the work that they do, a la Stevie Wonder and We Are the World, right?
That's right.
It's a small mini anthem for each of these organizations.
That was smart.
It's
very
just
smart.
it's just I hope to create a model that can inspire other artists. I don't need an album of 10 songs about your heartbreak.
Yeah.
Give me one song about the organization in your community that is doing good for other people. Let's pay some respect and pay it forward.
Two questions in that regard. One, where did that concept, that concept concept, how you look at it, where did the concept come from, number one? And number two, what are the early results telling you about how the concept is working?
I will give credit to my wife, Maya Jupiter, for the concept. She is an artist who, for as many times as I would try to corrupt her and make her sell out and be a superstar, because she's a great artist and beautiful and a great entertainer.
Right.
She will only make music that is serving the people, serving a message. And not always will that be the most popular kind of music. And so she wrote a song called Never Said Yes. It was inspired by a film called The Hunting Grounds about college campus rape.
Wow.
And her thesis was people always victimize the survivor and say, well, and criminalize the survivor. Did you say no? Was it always a no? Did you lead the perpetrator on? Such and so forth.
Sure.
And she said, it doesn't matter. If the survivor never said yes, that should be all that matters.
Exactly.
And so the concept that she would take a nonprofit organization or a social mission, convert that story into a song, I blew it up and took the concept and made 10, 12 songs out of it.
Yeah.
And did it for each different organization.
Here's the question. How then do you go about, I don't want to call it message music. How do you write music with a message, but not proselytize, and at the same time create something, produce something that is entertaining and joyful to hear? That's a mouthful. Does it make sense?
It is, but
Okay.
I try. I think that I have enough experience with songwriting that I can make it enjoyable and worthy of listening. I believe that I have enough experience as a lyricist and a songwriter to translate from the story of a nonprofit organization, whether it's a leader, a community member that's being served, or administrative personnel, to create a poem that will tell a story, but also not so specific that it only directly speaks to that organization, but broad enough that it speaks to humanity. So, there is a song on the album that I wrote called Breakthrough.
We'll play that when we come forward, but go ahead.
Breakthrough is an anti-recidivism organization that helps returning citizens find employment, find education, and find housing. And I wrote a story about redemption of an individual who's made mistakes. Rather than speaking about prison, I just said, don't tell me you ain't never made no mistakes. We all have made mistakes. So I opened it up and made it broad enough so that people on the outside could be represented, people on the inside could be represented, and they can share humanity in the same lyrics.
I made 3 mistakes in this show today. So you were right about the fact that we all make mistakes. When we come forward, we're going to play some Breakthrough for you. We're going to give you some dollar from Aloe Black. I know you want to hear that. But the new project is called Stand Together. I am honored to have him in studio. More with Aloe Black when we come forward.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Robinhood Gold members can now enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on annual retirement contributions. With Robinhood Gold, the perks of the high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold. To receive a 3% boost on annual IRA contributions, sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold $5 a month for 1 year from first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Robinhood Financial LLC member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. A hearing scheduled for 4 p.m. Eastern today will address Trump officials accidentally sharing military plans with a journalist. The breach involved top officials discussing Yemen airstrikes on Signal, with Republicans downplaying the incident. Hundreds of homes are being evacuated in North Carolina due to 2 major wildfires. The Deep Woods fire is 11% contained, and the Black Cove Complex fire is 17% contained, with over 6,000 acres destroyed. North Dakota's Senate narrowly passed a bill allowing babies to live with incarcerated mothers at a new prison opening in 2027. Opponents cite safety concerns, and black women remain overrepresented in prisons. And baseball's opening day is officially here. The 2025 Major League Baseball season gets underway today with 14 games on the schedule. Key matchups include the Milwaukee Brewers battling the Yankees in the Bronx and the New York Mets versus the Houston Astros. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Would you like your community to be recognized as a beautiful and clean place to live? Help the place you love become a designated Clean California community. Take the pledge today at cleanca.com. 0 litter is the goal.
Is this the tether? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It was a good night on the road for both of LA's NBA teams. LeBron tipped in a missed shot by Luka Doncic at the buzzer to lift the Lakers to a 120-119 win at Indiana. The win snapped the Lakers' 3-game losing streak. Doncic led the Lakers with 34 points and 7 assists. The Lakers are at Chicago tonight. The Clippers rolled into Madison Square Garden in New York City and beat the Knicks 126-113. James Harden had 29 points and 6 assists. Kawhi Leonard dropped 27 points. The win moved the Clippers into a tie for 6th place with Golden State. The first 6 teams in the conference are assured of a playoff spot. The Clippers, 6-1 in their last 7 games, are at Brooklyn Friday night. Magic Johnson, a part owner of the Dodgers, has yet to confirm if he'll join the team for their White House visit on April 7th. President Trump invited the Dodgers to the White House to celebrate their World Series championship last season. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
The revolution will not be televised.
What's up? It is Killer Mike, also known as Michael Render, and I'm encouraging you to listen to more, not less, of Truth Time with Dr. Cornel West and Senator Nina Turner on KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Imagine a photograph of your favorite place in California. Then right in the middle of it, one piece of litter. Litter has no place in our lives, not one piece. Together, let's change that. Clean California. 0 litter is the goal. CleanCA.com.
Paid for by government.com. Did you know? The United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time. Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Eco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
Testing.
We're live from Chick-fil-A.
This is Grant.
And this is Laura.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that sweet bun.
And that chicken filet was perfectly crispy and soft at the same time.
And that Smokehouse Barbecue sauce, it's a lot of fun. And the brown sugar bacon definitely had a little bit more pizzazz. Also, the Mac, one of the all-time greats. Man, I'm getting hungry.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and a Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
Made fresh daily in the Mert Park, Los Angeles, California. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
Aloe Black has a new project out called Stand Together, which we're talking about in this hour. I'd delighted to have him in studio, but you cannot talk to Aloe Black without giving the audience a little taste of that. I was just teasing him, saying that you get the one right hit, you can live off that the rest of your life. I ain't trying to count his money, but this was a monster hit, Aloe Black.
Yes, that song actually put me on the map. You know, I got signed to an indie label called Stone's Throw. I released this song, and it got licensed by a TV show called How to Make It in America, which only lasted 1.5 seasons, so it didn't make it in America, but the song did. I was lucky.
Yeah. I was talking about Bob James earlier, and he found he arrived as well. I mean, he'd been out there for a while, but when that song he wrote, Angela, became the theme for the TV show Taxi,
right? Which
lasted a little longer than a year and a half. He just put him on the map, man.
Bob James was sampled very frequently by hip-hop artists.
That's right.
I think he doesn't even know some of the deep cuts that the hip-hop artists are fans of. I heard one of my friends went to his concert and was like, "You need to play Nautilus. Why didn't you play Nautilus?" He was like, "What song is that?" It's a huge hip-hop classic.
No, but I was talking to him a couple weeks ago. I raised that issue with him that you are obviously a jazz master, but likely the jazz artist who's been most sampled by hip hop artists as well. So it's he's 85 years old now, so it's just sort of an amazing thing. Again, the project from Aloe Black now is called Stand Together. You heard Aloe a moment ago talking about a track called Breakthrough. He explained it in advance. Now we'll give you a taste of the track Breakthrough.
Don't tell me you ain't never made no mistakes. I've been known for bending the rules until they break. Don't tell me you ain't never had no regrets. There been times I rolled the dice before I placed a bet. I've done things that I can't take back. I'm barreling down a one-way track. When it feels like everything's breaking down, it's time for a breakthrough. 'Cause what doesn't break you?
So tell me more, Aloe, about how these various organizations for whom you have written these tracks as their sort of anthems, how are they using these tracks on Stand Together?
Yeah, the organizations are free to use the songs in their social media and in their event planning and programming. My goal ultimately is that the songs will amplify awareness for the organization so that more citizens can donate to the organizations, can get involved and maybe donate their time, not just money, and or recognize that they can start an organization just like that within their community. You know, maybe it's an opportunity for everyone to stand up and stand together with their communities.
Yep. It's been some years now, but how are you finding this journey, having been on a major label and had some major hits? How are you finding this journey as an independent artist? I have found over the years that every independent artist has a different story, a different journey. How is the Aloe Black journey as an independent artist?
You know, as an independent artist, I love having to exercise my business muscle. Before I became a full-time musician, I had worked for Ernst & Young as a business consultant. Graduated from USC, went to work for in the strategy consulting department, working in the health sector. As an independent artist, I get to exercise that muscle of figuring out how am I going to make, first of all, relevant music, second, music with integrity, intention, and that's genuine, and then profitable music. And so when you're with a major label, you get that advance. You can kind of ride on that, live on that. They have a lot of infrastructure to help seed your music into places. And so you can kind of rest on your laurels. I don't know if I feel comfortable doing that. I feel like I need the excitement of being at the helm and trying to figure out how can I connect all of these things for the benefit of society and still put food on the table for my family.
Yeah. I'm going to share a story with the audience about a friend of ours, a mutual friend of Aloe's and mine, and let Aloe tell a story out of the story that I'm going to share, and then we're going to play a track. You know where I'm going, right? So during the break a moment ago, a mutual friend of ours texted me and said, really enjoying this conversation. That friend happens to be a guy named Kevin Nash, who's a major DJ here on Stevie's station. We were talking about Stevie earlier, so all these dots are connecting. So Kevin Nash is a friend of Aloe's, a friend of mine. He's the evening jock on KGLH 102.3 FM here in Los Angeles, where I sit right now, the station owned by Stevie Wonder. And so Kevin texted, he was listening, and so Aloe and I just put out the phone right quick and called Kevin during the last break and said a word to him. And when we finished talking to Kevin, we, of course, come back on the air. But before we come on the air, Aloe was telling me a story about a moment being on Kevin Nash's show that he'll never forget. And it ties into a track on this album. So I'll let you tell the story about the Kevin Nash program that night and lead us into this song. Miles, it's the Daddy song. We're going to cue it. Yeah. Daddy Told Me So. And we'll let Aloe cue it up, and then Miles will play it.
So, Kevin Nash was so gracious in allowing me to perform for his program. And I had my band out. We were doing the show. And right around the last few songs that we were recording, I got a text message. And it was an emergency. My father had a heart attack, and he lived in Miami. We were recording here in Southern California. And as soon as we finished recording that show, I got on an airplane and flew to Miami to see my father, and I was the first person he saw when he woke up in that hospital bed. And I was just thinking about that juxtaposition of, riding high. I'm getting my flowers from Kevin Nash and being, a superstar that I am, while life is still happening. And it really does, God has a way of putting things in perspective for you and just letting you know what's important. And so, I took that time as soon as I could to go and spend, a couple weeks with my dad and moved him out to LA. And we had a beautiful 3.5 years. He got to really bond with me and my family, my kids. And it was a special moment. I won't forget that because the band that I was with is a band that my dad, all those musicians, he'd been on some tours with us. He'd been on some shows with us. And when they heard the news, they were all there to just, give me some love.
So I discovered moments ago that both Aloe and I lost our fathers just last year. So Aloe had 3.5 years extra with his father after that heart attack. But both of us lost our fathers last year, and so I didn't even realize that. So tell me about this track on the album.
Yeah, Daddy Told Me So is a song I wrote inspired by my father. He's the kind of guy who could do everything. I mean, he was a plumber. He was 30 years in the Marine Corps. He retired as a major. He was a carpenter. He was an electrician. He could build a car, dismantle a car. Anything you want, he could do it. And so when I thought about how do I write a song that speaks to the relationship I have with my dad and what I will impart on my son, this is what came out.
He said, son, don't you grow up too fast. Make those days your living last. 'Cause one day they'll be gone morning past, you wish them back again. You only get to have this one. Life is precious, and when it's done, it's measured up in love and fun. So enjoy it while you can. And oh, I've seen it all, and I'll be here to catch you before you fall. And oh, I've done it all before. You get your chance and you can be sure. Ask me how I know, 'cause my daddy told me so.
The album is called Stand Together. More with Aloe Black when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
He said money doesn't make the man, really only hard work can. Build something with your own hands and see how good it feels. Don't be afraid to make mistakes, but learn from everyone you make and take advice for goodness sake. Don't reinvent the wheel. And oh, I've seen it all, and I'll be here to get you before you fall. And oh, I've done it all before. You'll get your chance and you can be sure. Ask me how I know, 'cause my daddy told me women come and women go. Don't rush to me.
Interrogating and unpacking. That's what we do around here. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
I juggle a lot. And managing constipation with belly pain from my irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, with laxatives and fiber isn't enough. My doctor recommended a way to get ahead of it. Then I said yes to Linzess.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
We ask seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Let's get back to more of this rich dialogue with Tavis Smiley.
Tavis Smiley and Aloe Black. I was just telling Aloe that song hit me, man. That just it got to me. I miss my father's. I know you miss yours, and that thing just got to me. See, that's the thing about music, and not just music, but art. Period, and for that matter, you know, what I do every day with the storytelling that amazing guests like you come on this program and share. I say all the time that our work, our art at its best, allows others to situate their humanity in the story that we're telling. Here's a song about your dad, but it might as well have been about my dad, right? I can situate my humanity in the story that you're telling in that song. That's when you know you got a hit on your hands.
Yeah, well, my goal is just to make us not feel alone.
Yeah, man, that's it. That's it. I'm gonna give you just one more taste of this project. It's called Stand Together. The new project from Aloe Black. And there's one more track I want to give you a taste of. We were talking about Dr. King, as I said earlier. All these dots are connected in interesting ways in this conversation. So tell me about this particular track.
Well, I was a steward of the work of the late great Harry Belafonte, who was my mentor.
Oh, yeah,
and
Mr.
in many
Mr.
conversations, I learned so much about him. And there was a conversation that I ended up having after his passing with Bono from U2. We connected on activism, on artistry, on intention, and on our mutual love of Mr. B, who said in a conversation years ago during the Civil Rights Movement with Dr. King and the NAACP, that the NAACP were bemoaning the relationship they had with Robert Kennedy, and he was the Attorney General under his brother, John F. Kennedy. And they were saying, well, we just can't get through to him. And they really wanted his alignment. And Dr. King slammed his hand down on a desk and he said, stop it. Stop it. I don't want to hear any more bad talk about Bobby Kennedy. I want you to find one good thing. And when Bono said those words, hair on my arm stood up, and I said, man, that's a song. And he said, this is the story that he got from our mutual friend, Mr. Harry Belafonte. So Harry took those words, that demonstrative from Dr. King, and he befriended Bobby Kennedy. He made him an ally to the Civil Rights Movement and really transformed the direction and the attention that the president gave to the Civil Rights Movement.
I've said 3 times already in this conversation with Aloe Black that these dots today are connecting in interesting ways. Before you got here, we were talking about RFK Jr., who is nothing like the Bobby Kennedy that you are referencing. I'm going to leave that alone for now. When we come forward, we'll actually play this track for you. You're listening to Aloe Black, and I'm glad about it on Tavis Smiley.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom.
This is an ad by BetterHelp. Think about your mentors and idols, the people who inspire you the most. While it may look like they have all the answers, they don't. But they do know when to ask questions and seek the support they need. In a world that glorifies hyper-independence, it's easy to forget that we're all better with a support system. Therapy is a great way to find a consistent source of support in your life, so you can break free from the outdated belief that seeking help is a sign of weakness. BetterHelp has experienced therapists ready to help you with challenges ranging from anxiety and depression to relationships and stress. It's convenient, too. You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life. You can even send your therapist a message anytime something comes up. Build your support system with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/ABCRadio today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/ABCRadio.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found BenefitsCheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. BenefitsCheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer.
Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
After you use Bounce Dryer sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll put a sheet on it every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Put a sheet on it. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Put a sheet on it. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry, put a sheet on it with Bounce.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
The Tavis, Smiley, and Aloe Black Show. Mr. Black, set up the track, sir.
Inspired by the words of Dr. King, this is One Good Thing.
What does it take to move a mountain that no one wants to climb? When they tell you there's no answer, how do you change the heart and mind? Can you face the road to freedom when the past is in your way? In the darkness of the night, the future may be hard to find, but I believe that there's a day. All it takes is one good thing. All we need is one good thing.
And this track, Aloe Black, is also a lyric video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a lyric video to the song. I hope that I can come up with the right visual for a narrative video.
Right.
And I hope that there's an organization that I can pair it with,
Yeah.
so that it's almost like a PSA for that organization.
Yeah. You know, you and I have talked, of course, many times over the years, and so I knew this was going to be a rich conversation. It's been richer and deeper than I even thought it was going to be, courtesy of your humanity and your intellect and your brilliance. But there's a word that I've been processing through this whole conversation that I've come to appreciate about you now in a way that I've never had prior to this conversation. And that word is intentional. You live a life of intentionality.
I try.
Yeah.
I try my best. You know, I've been graced with a beautiful life. I get to write songs to make people happy. I just want to use this existence and this time to be as helpful to humanity as possible.
Yeah.
I feel like I've got this huge megaphone. What am I going to do with it? And I think the best thing I can do is give people an opportunity to live their best lives through my words and my music.
Yeah. I say all the time that we have to assign ourselves, and that's what Aloe Black has done. He has assigned himself. But that's our word for today, to be intentional about the lives we are living and the legacies that we are leaving, and I celebrate one Aloe Black. The new project is called Stand Together. I love the story behind the project, and you now know the story behind the project, and we should all get behind the project. Stand Together by Aloe Black. Man, I love you. There's nothing you can do about it. Thank you for your time, sir.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Good to have you on. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
All it takes is one good thing, and all we need is one good thing, and I will find one good
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. A hearing scheduled for 4 p.m. Eastern today will address Trump officials accidentally sharing military plans with a journalist, the detained, with over 6,000 acres destroyed. North Dakota's Senate narrowly passed a bill allowing babies to live with